All these months of work now is culminating in this wonderful exhibition of what's been happening in this project. My name's Abda Khan and I am the project creator and director of Tappay Tales. Tappay Tales is an Arts Council England funded project all about Pakistani culture and heritage explored through the old folk songs and old wedding songs. Tappay are a very big part of our culture. We all sing Tappay, our own versions of them. We're at the Midland Arts Centre in Birmingham. I grew up in inner city Bradford. I remember as a child in the 70s, there used to be weeks of singing before a wedding, and I would see all the women hurriedly feeding their husbands and quickly putting their little children to bed so they could all go to the shadi house and all sing songs. And, the women, they'd just be like laughing and giggling and like we're all on top of each other. There was no room in the living room at all. As I've been growing up and now I'm in my 50s, I've realised that a lot of these songs are being lost, especially here in the UK. I feel like there are not really any singing nights anymore, and even when people want to have singing nights, there's nobody in the family can actually sing the songs because the elders who used to know the songs are either too old or they've passed away. So I really wanted to try and preserve that heritage. So today's showcase is a mixture of Rani and Amee that is acted out by the amazing talents that are Ravneet Sehra and Jaya Khazaei. There's also going to be readings by Sharena of her new poems that she's curated especially for this project. And the participants of the workshop, Sajda, Shanaz, Taira and Zamir, will be reading their work. There'll also be some music and a little bit of narrative translation and context from me relating to the different songs.
No school for you now? No school means I can play the rain. Lutti take chimalo, lutti take chimalo, lutti take chimalo. Arey Rani, arey Rani kamchor. Who's going to feed the goats? Ruk ja.
This project was a developmental type project. I had no set idea or set agenda when I started this project. I collected those songs in the community. I invited members of the community to come and share their songs, translated and transliterated them, and then we used those old songs, the translations, to inspire us to create new writing. 10 workshops later, the participants have created their own pieces of work, which they are going to share with you tonight. I'm so proud of these women. They've never been on stage before. They've never read artistic work like this before. So I just think that's a pretty amazing thing for them to do. They kept saying, "Oh, we can't write. We can't write," and I had to convince them that you can write. Your opinions are valuable. One of the participants of the very first session, she wasn't sure if she should be there. She was quite sort of head down, and then as soon as she started writing, she said to me herself, she said, "It's been life-changing because I don't know what happened, but all these words just came out." And at the beginning, she would never have dreamed of performing, and now she's here today, she's going to perform.
Despair not, my love. Your silent cries, your voice that remains in your throat, disabled and oppressed, will find expression. I found the writing very, very therapeutic, even though it was, because I sort of can resonate with that era, because with what I went through, I can really identify with a lot of what happened today. And so my poetry actually was from my heart and from my own experience.
I had about 5 sharing sessions where I invited people to come and share their songs, songs that have been sung in their families, songs that they've grown up with, songs that they've heard from their parents or grandparents. And I made some audio recordings, and from those, and also from some of the songs that I've been familiar with and that I've been researching, I compiled a transliteration and translated versions of those songs.
Because you know the story behind it, we can see the flip side. But otherwise, I actually looked at it like a very playful thing.
The discussion was almost as important as the writing itself, because the old songs bring out so many themes that are still relevant to us now. So whether it's the position of women in society or belonging and identity, All these themes were really important throughout the whole process of those workshops.
We saw that when we looked at some of the old songs, like the Kala Doria, like it's about that Kala Doria, yeah, it sounds great, but it's actually about, it's actually about that hierarchy, especially in those days where even like it was okay for a brother-in-law to like beat his sister-in-law.
Everything depends on the lady, isn't it, at the end of the day? Like you could be doing like high-flying jobs outside and doing different things, but at the end of the day when you step home, you're that mother, you're the wife,
Yeah.
you're
the homemaker.
You're the homemaker.
The homemaker,
So
right.
the whole thing,
Amee, don't forget, I need to go to Farida's house soon to practice the Sami.
Oh yes, how's that coming along? Show me, Rani.
Oh,
Wow, Rani, you really got better at it, haven't you? Good.
Amee, my real name is Halima. But you and Baba never call me by my real name. Why is that? I do like being called Rani, but I was just wondering.
when you were a little girl, your Baba gave you this nickname. You are his princess. And not only his, you're everyone's princess.
And this is my palace. And I will always be the princess of this palace.
I commissioned some poetry for this project especially, and Sharena Sati is a wonderful poet. She's come all the way from Bradford today, and she's written 5 really beautiful poems inspired by 5 of the old songs.
Winter has not yet arrived, but your heart is frozen. You reject my offering of spring because winter is what you have chosen. Your eyes speak through your coldness, the language of loneliness, that you are so intent on me feeling. Oh, my beloved. I researched and had a look into where the songs had come from and got a feel for the songs and trying to understand different interpretations of where it come from, because there were so many like translations of the songs. And lots of people had like remixed them and things like that, and I wanted to go back to like as old as like back as far as I could.
Her professional poetic words give the showcase that really polished edge in terms of a performance. She's used those old songs to capture some of those emotions and give them a contemporary context.
I think with poetry, a lot of it comes from empathy and feeling, and that's what I took from the songs. I just listened to them, felt what I felt from it, and wrote whatever came really, whatever was inspired by them songs.
महशर का नहीं कोई खौफ खतर मेरे हामी शाफी रोज़ जज़ा मेरे हामी शाफी रोज़ जज़ा चल वेख सही लोला कलमा यासरिब का बंका साबरिया.
I think the most important thing for me is actually unearthing the roots of these songs and unearthing the history and the context, because I think a lot of times we sing these songs at weddings but we actually really don't know the true meaning of the song or where it emerged from. So for example, there's one of the songs Gurdas Maan sung it, Shaukat Ali sung it, so many people have sung Challa. And I used to be a bit confused by the lyrics. I must say, Jao ni ko mor leo mere naal ke aaj ladke. I just think, is it a woman singing about her husband? But actually it's about a father mourning the loss of his son who dies in a boating tragedy when he's ferrying passengers across the river because his father was too ill to do it that day. And the son fought with him to go. That's why the mere naal ke aaj ladke. And I think we can all relate to this. You have teenagers, for example, if they've just passed their test and you're really wary about them driving the car, especially in the evening with their friends, and they like fight and argue with you like, I'm old enough now, I'm an adult now. And this is what happened in this song. He said to his dad, look, I'm grown up now, you never trust me, you never give me any responsibility. And the father reluctantly agreed to give him this responsibility, and effectively he went to his death. So the lyrics are really haunting, but I never really knew the true story behind why those lyrics are so haunting. So we had many lively discussions actually in our workshops about society's expectations of women with regards to everything from how they should dress to how they should behave.
My tunni wasn't just a tunni, it was my izzat and my respect, you see. This I believed so completely. I had recklessly let it go. Oh, how I had wished that I could not forget that fateful day. My tunni was more than just a tunni, you see. 40 years on, I have not forgotten that moment. My tunni is sacred, it protects me, it keeps me safe. You see, my tunni is not just a tunni, it is a part of me.
Fix Baba's glasses quickly. Come on, let's go. Come.
Okay. Do you want to run that scene again?
Now, how have you got on with Baba's glasses? Oh, it's still not done. Come, let's go. Come.
The inspiration from the script came from the song by Coke Studios, Sada Chiriyan Da Chamba, which is a very old song. And I was listening to it in the car one day, and I realised that I had to use some elements of that song to build my script because I loved some of the imagery in that song. So then I developed this script, 2 characters. It's Amee and it's Rani. Rani is the daughter, and it's a progression from her childhood through to womanhood, growing up in her family's home. She's kind of like the princess at home, like she's just adored by everyone, to then progressing to marriage, and then like, I think there's a song Jutti Kusuri in which the woman sings about how this shoe doesn't fit, and it's an analogy for how she doesn't quite fit in with her new family yet. So it explores that journey that a girl to a teenager to a woman makes. Because some of those elements are still relevant now. Even though in my mind it's set in the 1940s, I feel like it's one of those where the viewer can decide what time period they think it's set. The 2 actors are Jaya Khazaei and Ravneet Sehra, and they are playing the characters of the mother and the daughter, Amee and Rani.
Don't ever give them a cause to complain. Be obedient and dutiful. Whatever they say, that is what you should do.
I want that look on your face where you're thinking, this is so final, she's actually going to be leaving soon.
Let's go quickly.
Their acting scenes have brought to life all the different strands of this project. This project has been attended by women mainly as participants, so the themes that I've developed have inevitably related to women. When you think about the position of women or some of the pressures that women were under, and I think Jaya and Rav's acting has taken it to the next level where you can really sympathise and empathise with what's going on.
As a mother, I can resonate with what was there. Obviously, there are many things from our traditions from the past, but then there are many things which have changed a little bit. I'd like to keep some of our traditions which has come down to us from our mums and, aunts and family.
अखी मही दियां डुलियां में तक कै पुलियां माई रती इंसाफ न पाया में डाढ़ी रुलियां. And that means my beloved's eyes were so full of rage, his look I will never forget. My beloved has been unjust, for this reason I am bereft. They have told me that it has definitely impacted their lives positively. The confidence, I think, has really blossomed through the project. And I think that sometimes as women, when we reach a certain age, we're all mature women who are involved in this project. You feel a bit not as relevant anymore.
Living in the West, family all scattered, I feel like an empty nest. Hearts weeping, shining, glowing, happy faces are no more. The sun rarely shines outside, nor in our hearts. People have only sadness on their faces. I miss you, Uganda.
I have to say it's been an amazing journey. I never thought that attending a few creative workshops was going to bring a lot of emotion, a lot of old memories back. And it's been like quite deep.
One of them did say to me she felt a bit lost. She didn't know what her purpose was. So I think that the project has really helped them to realise that their opinions, their words really do matter. Like what they've got to say is important. If they didn't feel that before, they definitely feel it now.